Welcome back, everybody. It is the best tournament, the North American tournament. We have Kapooey versus Doxun. Man, I do love Doxun. I've never actually met this player in person, but I just like his avatar. It's very my vibe. And Kapooey has one of the best avatars as well. Cost control specialist coming out for Kapooey. Steel ball and crawlers. Wow, a good choice. Doxun, I could make an argument for, well, honestly, all of these. He opts for the giant specialist. Let's see what he's got going for himself now. He was playing earlier in the tournaments this week. Oh, the mouse was not allowing me to zoom out there for a second. Let's see. Doxun was the Group 5 on the weekend tournament. Good for him. Or was our 5th place on the weekend tournament. Looks like old Kapooey might be going for something a little spicy. Doxun realizes, hey, what's a great unit against steel balls? You guessed it, crawlers. Crawlers work out extremely well versus steel balls in most instances. Of course, if the steel balls do have the split mechanical division, all of a sudden these crawlers don't do nearly as well as the steel balls basically split into a unit of crawlers themselves. And a couple of snipers coming out here for Kapooey. Not a bad choice, as there is a lot of single entities on the field right now, and these snipers could put out a lot of work. Unfortunately, there is not a unit in the game that only costs 50. I would love it if there was a minute unit. We already have small units in the form of crawlers and fang. It would be cool if you could just get like a small squad of like human infantry, and they would absolutely get destroyed, but they could be like a fun infiltration unit or something. Wow, these steel balls are actually in a phenomenal position. They're going to be able to munch down this arc light and then move forward and start killing tanks. Unfortunately, a lot of these crawlers are going to get cleaned up, but these snipers are in a little bit of a rough spot as they don't really have enough support in order to get their jobs done, and these arc lights are going to clean up a lot of the crawlers. Kapooey's original steel ball aggression worked out well, but they don't have enough support. Neither do the snipers. He might get this arc light. Might. I don't think so, though. And that will be that. The great aggression of Kapooey, shut down initially. Really interesting to have the steel balls just run down the line like that. I don't know if I've ever seen that before. Let's see. Missile strike, strike specialist, extended range on these sledgehammers would be good. The nano repair kit could be interesting. Missile strike coming up for Kapooey. I could make an argument for the nano repair kit, but really not this early in the game. I wouldn't be surprised if both players opted for the missile. Missile is just good. It's 3,000 damage. It normally wipes a unit. You get it pretty often, especially if you end up getting the specialist that lowers cooldowns a little bit. Ooh, it looks like old Kapooey might be playing multiple units. What is it going to be, though? I see a lot of tanks coming out here for Doxun. He did not grab the extended range. Kapooey opts to grab 3 units of arc lights. Definitely worthwhile given how that chaff came for his snipers. And it looks like the steel balls are once again just going to race down the line pretty much unsupported. A lot of missiles coming out here for Kapooey. They'll get some tanks. Worthwhile. Nothing in the flanks for either player. There goes the missile on the right. Blammo. And the missiles down the center do quite a bit of damage here to the tanks. What a cool looking spread of Kapooey's units. Unfortunately, these front steel balls are completely unsupported and die because of it. Not really able to do any damage. Arclight on the left has its work cut out for it, killing off all of these little crawlers, but once they're done, the sniper and the Arclight will re-engage. It looks like a massive win here for Kapooey. Whether or not that's because he spent $100, literally a third of his credits, or not a third, a fifth of his credits, on deployables, we will see. Doxun takes significant damage, and these players are very much neck and neck. 600 HP. Heavy armor? Portable shield for Kapooey. I could see why. Oh, and he opts to put it on the steel balls in the back. These steel balls in the front are still just feeding XP, and that is not really what you want. A lot of Doxun's army is very slow, though. And if Kapooey chose to do so, possibly grabbing 1 or 2 units of Stormcallers would go a long way. Instead opts for some level 2 snipers. Doxun wants 3 units. Oh, wow. And he chooses an Overlord. Well, he is a giant specialist, so that was free. The Overlord is a very, very good unit, but not against this amount of snipers. He doesn't know about the level 2 snipers, of course, but oh, it might not end well for him. Kapooey has the extra $100 a turn, so he might as well spend it on deployables. In this case, all he's going to pick up are some Fang. Not worthwhile. But, hey, at least it was used. This Overlord's going to start munching through all of these steel balls. Level 2 steel balls will be able to absorb a lot more punishment, but it really comes down to this sniper play. Snipers start killing arc lights, and unfortunately with those arc lights down, all of a sudden these crawlers can become a nuisance. If the crawlers do get close enough to the Overlord, it will opt to shoot the crawlers. Oh man, this Overlord doesn't have a prayer. Poor little guy. He's going to get obliterated. He's too busy shooting at crawlers and arc lights to deal with the snipers. Wow, that's not where you want to be if you're an Overlord. Getting absolutely roasted toasted by 4 snipers. Doxun's coming out here looking a little weak into this next round, but Clutch Lightning Storm or some super heavy armor could change things around. The improved melting point is fun, but neither player has a melting point, and I don't really think the hackers will be a thing. Wow. Kapooey's aggression continues. Opts to grab the Lightning Storm. A Lightning Storm in the center would absolutely decimate poor Doxun's lines. Ooh, the tanks get the rage. They're now what I like to affectionately call bumper cars. Able just to zoom around quite quickly and deal the damage that they need. Kapooey opting for more level 2 snipers just because there is this Overlord on the field and a lot of tanks. And these arc lights really are the stars of the show here. Without these arc lights, the chaff would overwhelm the snipers. But because the arc lights are here and there aren't really any upgraded chaff-breaking units, i.e. something like some Stormcallers at the front, Kapooey's forces are pretty much going to go uncontested this round. If Doxun was to lay out maybe 2 or 3 long-range Stormcallers, this could all change. Or if Doxun tries to close the trap, throw a couple of Fang, maybe a couple of Arc Lights or something to support them in these flanks, maybe even some Crawlers or Rhino, all of a sudden, this could turn into an entrapment where these snipers just have too many targets to shoot at. We shall see. A couple of level 2 Rhinos on the flank wouldn't honestly go amiss. Yes, there are some level 2 marksmen there, but, you know, you just kind of got to make plays at some point. Off comes the Lightning Storm. It's going to do a huge amount of damage, wiping 2-3 units of Fang. A unit of Crawlers would get damaged. Ooh, one is nearly dead. Man, this Lightning Storm was a nuke over time. And because of it, the entire center line is destroyed. None of those tanks make it through. And this is going to be a huge amount of damage on Doxun. No! Be nice to the little dog. He's got on like chainmail or something. Or a sweater. I'm unsure. This is very good here for Kapooey. Skill Specialist would be great. It means that he may be able to replay that Lightning Storm. No. Kapooey opts for aggression and gets a level 3 Rhino possibility. Well, there isn't great single point damage on the field besides this arc light. Wow, Doxun's all tanks, no brakes. You gotta love it. Build the big engine and go crazy. This missile is actually probably going to take both the tanks and the Fang here. Fang's fairly slow without the mechanical rage. These tanks fairly quick with the mechanical rage, so they'll probably scoot right into line and die. Unfortunate. Kapooey opting to grab range on all of his units. A wise decision, as these arc lights will now be able to clean up the Fang and Crawlers just a little bit quicker, and the marksman will be able to get online just a little bit quicker. Well, the mass tanks of Doxun is interesting. I haven't really seen mass tanks like this for a very long time. Wow, and these tanks are really going to be grooving. Here's the decoy Fang. Now, Kapooey did take the Elite Rhino, but he has yet to play one. So, that's a thing. We'll see if he does so. It might just be there to throw his opponent off. Now the opponent can't see that he has that specialist, though. Kind of limits the ability of that. Wow. And a lot of these Crawlers actually coming in here, slowing down the time that it takes for these snipers to kill units that are actually important. Wow. And the tanks are just moving and grooving. They're getting in there. Oh my word. Kapooey's forces are completely overwhelmed, and he is going to take a significant amount of damage. Doxun really able to even out this game. Let's see. Oh, my word. Elite Mustang would be very good here for both players. I could also make an argument for any of these. Kapooey thinks that the range specialist is the way to go. Interestingly enough, Doxun goes with the HP. Having these tanks be just tankier is very worthwhile. Here are the rhinos. They're level 3 rhinos, but I don't know if they're worthwhile, and neither does Kapooey. These steel balls will absolutely get shredded by the tanks at this point, though. 1,000 damage a shot. Steel balls will... If a steel ball gets caught out in this current formation, the tanks will kill them in a single shot. A volley of the tanks, that is. More Mustang. Right now, I think Kapooey just needs a little bit more AoE. A Vulcan, although strange to deal with tanks, is not the worst answer. Having 2 Vulcan, one here and one here, just to protect the snipers as these crawlers come in, would definitely be worthwhile. Where did those Mustang end up? They're not on the flanks. Ah, they're guarding the flanks for Doxun. All right, hey. They'll chew through Fang on the flanks really quickly. Blah. Center engagement goes down the line. Both players opting to forego Stormcallers. Stormcallers would be doing some damage here. Not the most, but some. And this is what I was afraid of. These steel balls are basically just acting as meat shields. Getting absolutely toasted by tanks, but at least buying a little bit of time for the arc lights to try and clear away some of this chaff. Will it be enough? I don't think so. Arc lights are still trying to clear away chaff and being absolutely overwhelmed. This is where a couple of Vulcan would really come in handy here for Kapooey, but great plays by Doxun. Overwhelming tanks. Oh my god, and Kapooey's now on his last legs. Round 7. Will Doxun be able to close it out here? Haste module for both players. You know, Phoenix would also be a good transition for either player, but specifically Kapooey. Having 3 Phoenix in the background, he normally eliminates everything that shoots up besides the Overlord. If those 3 Phoenix were on ground, he may be able to take the Overlords out. No, instead opts for Rhinos. Rhinos will do pretty darn well against the tanks. They're not great. Ooh, and he gets the whirly-durlies. All right, the answer to the mass amount of units is Rhinos with whirly-durlies. We'll see if he opts for a third. A lot of Wasps coming out. Wasps with shields. This is an answer to the snipers. There's nothing else that shoots up except for these snipers. And that could honestly be the nail in the coffin for Kapooey. Unfortunately, he's going to have to clear all of these units exceedingly quickly if he wants his snipers to have enough time to deal with these Wasps. And the great thing about level 1 Wasps with shields, they have what? 366 HP? They'll take 2 shots of 6,454. Talk about damage wasted. That's exactly what you want here, and Doxun is playing this extremely well. In come the Rhinos. They're behind the steel balls, hopefully thinking that they'll be able to get into some of this chaff and deal damage. Not a lot of great single point damage besides the Overlord, as we've mentioned earlier. Here come the Rhinos, and they hold the line significantly better. Wow, getting in there and dealing with some of these tanks, chopping up 2 or 3 tanks at a time. It is not enough, though. Really, I think the extra HP, but also just the significant amount of damage that went out on those Rhinos. They really just, they went in there without much support. And that's it. Kapooey is done. Early aggression, blunted, and returned here by Doxun. Wow, great plays, great players. We will see you in the next round. On to round 2, Andy versus Ray. A different way of spelling Ray, I believe. We have Marksman Specialist versus Heavy Armor Specialist. Oh, wow. I recognize that actress. I think she was in a movie or a television series or something. Unsure. Andy, though, coming in here with crawlers, sniper, 2 tanks. Good setup. Ray coming in with a couple of Mustang, some snipers of his own, and a few of these crawlers. Pretty much the same units. Unfortunately, I don't think Mustang will pack the punch that Ray needs, and Andy's sniper, although there's only one of them, is worth 3 level 1 snipers. Now, that isn't purely the case. One of the ways that I look at leveling my units is, of course, you need to weigh the cost of leveling, which is half the unit, versus the cost of having an extra entity on the field. These 2 snipers, if they were to engage this level 3 sniper at the same time, would kill him and survive. And that's something worth noting, that the more unit entities you have, the more likely you are to survive an encounter. However, if there were 2 level 2 snipers against a couple of level 1 snipers, obviously the level 2s may win that combat. So there is a slow economy of scale where eventually the upgrades make it worthwhile, but in the early game, it's just better to have more. As generally the consensus of the community, it's kind of the way that I look at it as well. Sometimes it is just better to have more. Now, I believe Andy was our player who just went like crazy Fang a couple of tournaments ago. Andy thought to himself, and there was only Woody. Was my favorite comment from that video. It looks like these tanks are going to be able to clean up a ton of the chaff. And these tanks, you know, they have a little bit of splash damage. More importantly, though, they just kill the crawlers very quickly. Each shot from the tank kills crawlers and does a lot of splash damage. And that means these tanks are going to be able to advance forward pretty much unopposed and just absolutely obliterate the sniper. Will the tanks kill the sniper? No, not quite. A little bit of damage on Ray. Is that from Battlefleet Gothic? What? No, not Battlefleet Gothic. What's the one where there's Cylons in space? I recognize that person from something, and it's going to annoy me. A lot of times when there's a portrait of like an anime or something that I recognize, I'm eventually able to like figure out who it is, or you guys will tell me in the comments. So I've gotten to the point now where I just wait for the comments. Anyways, Ray here goes a little crazy, just like a Cylon, and grabs the heavy hackers. Now, they haven't unlocked hackers yet, and in fact are just opting for more snipers. But hey, if they need to, hackers are now an option. And honestly, having the option is quite nice because it can just shut down different paths that your enemy might take. Andy here may have been thinking about grabbing a rhino, but if in the next turn... Oh my god, he unlocked Fang. Yes, Andy, yes. And these Fang are actually extremely well positioned. Both missiles here from Ray will impact on Andy's little toy soldiers. That's a lot of wasted cash. I normally think of a missile as worthwhile if it kills 2 units or kills an extremely important unit. But in this case, having 2 missiles just delete a unit of Fang is totally not worth it. Let's take a look here at this engagement. There's a lot of tanks still. And with this many tanks, I still think he'll be able to clear up the chaff in time. Andy's units are pushing forward. Even some of the crawlers are going to make it into the Mustang, it looks like, on the left-hand side. Just having enough crawlers really does matter. If the Mustang had the splash damage upgrade, it may have made a difference. Extra sniper here from Andy as well is going to start cleaning up snipers. Now it's all down to the shield. Every time the level 3 sniper shoots, it takes off maybe... 10th of the health, maybe a little bit more than that, maybe a 5th. And it looks like Andy does push through the shield and absolutely deal some damage over to Ray. Let's see if Andy can continue this cycle of winning. Ray opts for the nano repair kit, and so does Andy. Okay, I understand it on Andy's units. He does have a sledgehammer, which has a significant amount of health. Does Ray? Oh, Ray's going for the rhinos. You know what is a really underused but extremely fun way to play? I have not actually seen this in many of the tournaments. I've done it myself, and it is really dumb but really fun. Get hackers. Heavy hackers. They have to be heavy hackers. Give them shields. They'll keep up with the rhinos, and they'll just charge down the line. The rhinos will deal the damage. The hackers will continue to convert things. It is really silly, but it can work, and it can completely catch your opponent off guard. Of course, it's countered by anything that flies, so it's not like the end-all be-all strategy, but it is very fun. Both these rhinos are coming in at a pretty good angle. I actually like grouping up rhinos. It does mean in the later stages of the game, you can easily deploy units that counter rhinos, but for that initial 1 or 2 rounds, these rhinos are actually very scary. They're just going to crush up this line. There's nothing that can stop them. The healing kit on this Rhino here is going to just keep it alive for a very significant amount of time. Stormcallers may be an issue. Let's see if the Rhino can take the tower. It does not take it in time. Out come the crawlers. This little Rhino's life will eventually be forfeit. He may be able to get that tower in time to circle back around and kill the sniper. Looks like it, and he's going to heal through all of this damage. Honestly, this Rhino might actually clear everything up on the field. Gets the sniper. Once the tower drops, these tanks will circle back for him, but I don't know if this will work. We'll find out here in a second. Go, little Rhino, go. He's taking some damage. It's not a huge amount. And up he's coming. Oh, Lord, he coming. Yeah, I don't think this Rhino can die. All right. Well, the Rhino wins it. Hooray for the Rhino. The old Punchy Bot's going to earn himself a ton of XP. That's a leveling. Good for the Rhino. Jeez, look at him go. Fista, fista, fista. Andy takes his first bit of damage at the end of a Fistabot Rhino. Let's see. Wow, actually, Ray had so much more health. She's basically I should say, have basically brought the game back to a standstill. Oh, my. Junior Manufacturing Specialist here for Ray. This could mean that she's going for, or they are going for, the Heavy Hackers. Andyy, Enhancement Module. Okay. Brings the tanks up. Worthwhile. Oh, and there's the melting point. Unfortunately, because all of these rhinos are on one flank, it does mean that a melting point on that flank shuts down rhinos pretty well. But Ray unlocks wasps. Where are these wasps going to be? On the flanks. Oh my, and I do like the double placement of wasps on the flank. If you're going to flank somebody, either commit to it or make a small feint, and Ray actually commits to it. Putting these two wasps on the flank is very dangerous. They can reposition as well. These rhinos will eventually get caught out. Oh, I don't know. The melting point might be distracted the entire time. It's not very often that you see a melting point get punched down, but it is a possibility. These wasps are all going after the crawlers. The melting point should still aggro on the wasps, and the rhinos may be able to get in time to actually just beat the crap out of a melting point. Oh my gosh, if these guys were level 3, that would be huge. Here they come. They did it. These absolute mad lads did it. Wow. That is insanity. Ray is showing us the power of the rhinos at this point. If these rhinos do get a level, I don't know if they're worth leveling at this point. Now they're going to be like ultra mega countered, but I mean, they both earned a... Oh, no. Unfortunately, only one of them still has the level, and that's the one that could level up last turn. Oh, well. Good enough. The rhino's absorbing damage. Means these wasps are able to get in there and just do a little bit of freebies. And with that, this rhino, the unkillable rhino, won't die. Looks like Andy's going to be hit for 200 plus, I don't know, maybe an extra 100 here. In the form of these little wasps. Wow, the rhino might actually end this near full HP. Oof. Unfortunate. Ray making some great comebacks. Parasitic ammo coming out for Ray. I don't know if I've ever seen parasitic ammo played on a rhino. Of course, it's not going to be, but I don't know if that would work. What did Andy pick up? Andy picked up the range specialist. Definitely worthwhile as they have a huge amount of ranged units. Do these wasps flee for their lives? No, Ray opting to possibly recover them? Yes, recovers one. Alright, worthwhile. Level 3 rhino now. You know where else a rhino would do quite well is over here on this flank. She doesn't have the money, or they don't have the money for it, but next turn there is the possibility. Lots of sniper upgrades, lots of stormcallers. These stormcallers won't do the most damage initially, but as these Mustang tend to move down the field, these stormcallers will come good. Man, they just annihilate the wasps though. And out come the stormcaller shots, and in come a couple of crawlers, instantly cleaned up here by the tanks. But hey, that's not the worst thing in the world, as it continues to stop fire from coming in. Unfortunately, these rhinos are now unsupported, and they are going to be cleaned up in a big way here by this melting point, who has earned itself a level. Quite well, actually. Wow, and the delay from all of these Stormcaller shots is very important. They're not going to be able to close out the battle, but hey, they did slow down the center quite a bit, and that's worth noting. Oh, my word. Yes, they spawned a couple more crawlers. Good for them. Unfortunately, the amount of tanks on the field is huge. And this is what tends to happen. After you start to lose with rhinos, you really start to lose. You have to keep up the aggression because the rhinos are an expensive unit. They have to keep pushing forward. Underground threat could be useful for both players. Ray opting for the amp core, so does Andy. Well, I could see the amp core going on this melting point. Or heck, even on a unit of these tanks. We'll have to see. More Stormcallers. These rhinos are going to boogie-oogie to the other side of the field. Stormcallers now with range here for Andy. Outranging enemy Stormcallers is the name of the game. When you're playing the game of pass the rocket, it's better to be the guy farthest away. I like that. Oil comes down here for Ray. Oh, is there going to be fire? I'm guessing that the wasps are gone. Yes, the wasps are gone. Ray might choose to drop the oil initially. Let the oil sit for a turn to slow down these units. Maybe get another unit of Stormcallers. They can deploy another one. No, opts for what looks to be crawlers. 2 more units of crawlers. Okay, just to slow things down. These crawlers will not last very long against the tanks. But they can make a little bit of a distraction. Oh, wow, and the amp core over here on this melting point. Okay, it's got a ton of HP. It is facing down a level 4 sniper, though. We'll have to see if that sniper gets online and starts killing. I think Ray's opting to play the oil initially, then maybe next turn set the oil alight when they know that, hey, that oil is there. It's worth doing. Alright, Rhino's boogie-oogie. 1 unit of tanks goes down, -1. Let's see. Wow, huge engagement in the center. All of these units will get absolutely decimated by Stormcaller shots. Oh, no. Oh, wow. Actually, the Stormcaller shots basically whiff. That's unfortunate. And all these units here on the left aren't engaging in time. That's very unfortunate. These Stormcallers aren't landing really any shots, though. And that's not going to be very good. Another barrage basically wasted here. Ooh, here comes the level 3 Rhino. Punching things down. It's healing quite a bit. Oh, but it will go down. That is unfortunate. Will this Rhino go after the tower? The answer is yes. And if that tower drops, that might be exactly what Ray needs to survive this round. Down goes the tower. Alright, Stormcallers, you have a lot of work to do, but you can potentially knock it out. This Rhino will continue to go through the back line. It will take a little while to die. Not a huge amount, but it does get a couple of Stormcallers, 1 whole unit for its efforts. Let's see if it's enough. Down goes the marksman. Unfortunately, this melting point was just in a very good position. And I don't think these Stormcallers will have the ability to melt this melting point in time. They just don't have the damage. Okay, Ray survives, though. And the oil is up. We saw a ton of units go through the oil on Andy's side. Ray may be able to set that alight this turn, thus cremating the entire left-hand side of Andy's forces. What's it going to be? Senior Attack Specialist for Andy. Elite Phoenix for Ray. Did I read that? Oh my god, that is correct. Okay. And the Rhinos can heal as well. No burning is happening yet. Interesting. Ray's burning through cash. Grabs the Vulcan. Okay. I'm assuming this Vulcan is just here to set this alight. It will work. Oh, wow. Yeah, Ray is making sure the fire burns. Maybe a little too aggressively. This Rhino will not have, or this Vulcan will not have a lot of support. It's a $500 investment. You know, oh, it's because Ray cannot put fire on the Stormcallers. Interesting. You don't normally see that. Okay. Well, then it had to be a Vulcan. And we're going to make sure that this Vulcan is burning. It will die almost instantaneously. And this melting point will earn itself another level. Wow. And very aggressive crawlers coming out here for Ray as well. Andy's units are pretty much where we thought they would be, plus an extra melting point. Alright, the fire burns. Vulcan burns with it. The fires of its own ambition. Well, there's a lot of dead Mustang and crawlers coming in, and these tanks will actually take significant damage as well. The Rhinos boogie-oogie over to the right, and they're actually coming in a little bit later than before, which may be a good thing. Just gives these Stormcallers time to clear away some of the chaff that would normally be interrupting these Rhinos from their killing sprees. Out they come. Now the Stormcallers still don't have range. Ooh, and the level 3 is the first one. Oh wow, it actually breaks contact there to go and try and save its buddies, but that's too little too late. Melting Point's able to re-establish the beam, and down it goes. And with that, the dreams of Ray continuing through the championship. Congratulations to Andyy. Great plays by both players. We will see you in the next round. Alrighty, let's move on to the next round. We have bUgHi versus Vincent Vega. And yes, I will be saying it, bUgHi. We'll see how well this goes. Looks like we have a very interesting start here. Aerial Specialist with Phoenix. Man, I do love that setup. Looks like bUgHi is a little nervous about it and grabs a couple of marksmen very quickly. And it looks like bUgHi is also a cost control specialist. I do think that is probably the most powerful specialist in the game and a good pickup set of units here. I always love to have units that move at the same speed. So just having these steel balls and whatever these little bastards are called, crawlers, hit at the same time is great. And excuse my language, just sometimes I love crawlers a little bit too much. Let's see who can win this out. I think these arc lights are going to make a huge difference here, as they will be able to clear out the majority of these crawlers in time for the Phoenix to get online and deal with both steel balls and possibly snipers. We shall see. Definitely the wave clear is going to go in the way of Vincent, especially with these extra crawlers coming online. The question now becomes, will the Phoenix be able to clear enough of the steel balls on the left? I don't think so. I think the Phoenix will fall here, just because that sniper is going to come online and just start plinking away at them. Ooh, the Phoenix doesn't even get the extra shot. Of course, this sniper's life is doomed as that tower falls. Oh my gosh, actually... Oh, the Phoenix shot coming out a little bit too slowly. They still get the sniper, though. And that's that. Vincent must win this round. I do think that Phoenix have been outperforming snipers recently within the meta. If you guys are in agreement, please let me know in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to like and subscribe. Favoriting is no longer a thing. Hooray! I remember that. Ooh. I like both of these. They are great. Improved firepower is actually very good on Phoenix as well, but Vincent opts for the missile strike. What will bUgHi do? bUgHi gets the missile strike as well. I think this will claim at least 2 lives. Vincent opts for some more Phoenix as well. These Phoenix having extra range is really important, as it means they're just slightly under the range of these marksmen. Normally Phoenix come in at 120 range, but because of the aerial specialist, their range is increased by 8. It's actually very important. If they were to grab these range enhancement, they would seriously outrange the marksman. With this number of Phoenix, I'm a little worried about these arc lights, but bUgHi needs to clear out the chaff. He could even opt for a 3rd arc light. If he opts for a 3rd arc light, then I don't think the Phoenix will be able to kill the arc lights in time, because they'll get distracted by killing chaff. But we'll find out. We shall see. Unfortunately, with the loss of the sniper on this left-hand side due to the missile, bUgHi is almost certainly going to lose. But he does have the armor, the defense enhancement. That way his units are just slightly tougher. 2% tougher than the rest of the units. Wow. And this missile is going to claim quite a few lives as well. It's going to be a trade here. How many of these little crawlers make it out? Ooh, about a quarter of the unit. Not bad. Not bad. The steel balls also survive that impact. It does mean that they'll fall to a single shot, though. And without the crawler support here, all of a sudden this arc light is looking a little bit like he's in a dicey situation. Will the Phoenix save him? They do. Phoenix on the left have a lot of work to do, though. There's 4 of them, though, and these steel balls don't stand a chance. Wow. Once again, we're going to see a trade on both sides. The tower will fall first here for Vincent, but I think that's a good thing. As bugHi's units advance down the field, it does give the Phoenix time to kind of relocate themselves. Ooh, one Phoenix drops for the price of nothing. Down goes the tower, and these Phoenix should be easily able to clean up the sniper now. That's that. Wow, that sniper, even though he was weakened, still able to take out a Phoenix. That's pretty impressive. The game is won by these Phoenix, but only by just the skin of their chinny chin chins. Down go the steel balls. bUgHi takes 200 damage. This is not a lot of damage to be taking as a cost control specialist. That's kind of exactly what you want. Just, hey, if I'm not winning, hurt me by the littlest amount possible. bUgHi has the extra cash, so we might as well use the intensive training. Level 3 steel balls. Oh my. These steel balls are going to take a heck of a lot of punishment now. It will take these Phoenix at least a full volley or two, or 3, or 4, actually, to take out these steel balls. Giving bUgHi enough time to actually grab a few more snipers. Extra snipers are actually going to deal quite well with these tanks. I think that's... Oh my gosh. Unfortunately, these snipers are all just kind of lined up. Let's hope the Ion Blast doesn't come out. Okay, he spreads them out. Good enough. Vincent gets some super heavy tanks. Level 2 tanks will take a long time to perish, but not against level 3 steel balls. We shall see how this engagement goes. I do like the excessive use of force here. Lots of jets, lots of snipers. Let's see who survives. Honestly, just having a unit of Stormcallers or a couple more Arclights might be the deciding factor here. You'd be surprised how much it matters who wins the Chaff War. And it looks like the Chaff War is going in the way of bUgHi at the moment. These snipers are getting online a little early. And that could be it. Phoenix are already starting to drop. Oh no. We see 3 Phoenix left on the board. 2 Phoenix left on the board. Soon it will be 1 Phoenix left on the board. 1 Phoenix versus 2 snipers. Ooh, these snipers are only level 1 though. They take a while to kill the tank. And this Phoenix could turn it around. Is the Phoenix... Oh, it's going to be level 2 here in a second. We did see earlier that the sniper was able to... Oh, and he does pop the Phoenix. I was going to say, we saw earlier that the Phoenix could die even to a weakened sniper, and that is the case. Old Vincent takes another bit of punishment, unfortunately. Let's see what old bUgHi has in store. Extended marksman range would be great, even though it's a decreased attack. If your marksmen get 2 shots, it's definitely worth it. Vincent opts for the shield device specialist. Not bad, actually. Those shields would be very important, as there isn't really anything here that kills shields well. bUgHi does opt for the extended marksman range. I think that is the right choice. Vincent's already out of cash. And I think all he did was upgrade a whole bunch of his units. Hey, that's a great way to spend your money. Upgrade those units. And deploy what appears to be an extra unit of crawlers. bUgHi grabs a few more steel balls and another Arclight. He understands that he needs to keep winning the Chaff Wars so that his snipers have enough time to get online and deal damage. Now coming in at 210 range, that's kind of insanity. Ooh, a very good missile placement here for Vincent, though. Could shut down this crawler play from bUgHi. Each of these players is relying quite a bit on these crawlers just to absorb damage. I would love to see something a little bit more substantial. Maybe a couple units of Mustang for either player, just to have something that, 1, can deal with the crawlers, but 2, packs a little bit of bite. You know, Mustangs don't do well against tanks or Arclights, but they do well against crawlers and Phoenix. Also, Mustangs do quite well on the for Vincent here against the crawlers and the marksmen. So, just something to think about. Man, all of these level 2 snipers, though, will be able to start just cleaning out tanks really early. Oh, the missile goes out, and it's a very good missile. Without that central Arclight, all of a sudden this Chaff War is definitely going to go in the way of Vincent on the left. Let's see if bUgHi is able to push through on the right. Snipers are already online, killing Arclights, killing tanks, but unfortunately, they just don't pack the wallop that they need quite yet. And with the death of that Arclight from those missile strikes, all of a sudden, it looks like it's going to be a devastating loss here for bUgHi. Oof. That is not good. Even though his snipers were shooting early, they just need a little bit more support. And honestly, bUgHi might need a couple of tanks or a Vulcan. We've seen it many times before. Vulcan Sniper is very powerful. I think it might be time. Vincent opts for a few wasps. Not a bad play at all. So does bUgHi. Ooh, and the upgraded range on the Phoenix is going to be very dangerous. Vincent's playing this extremely well. The tanks turn into bumper cars. They'll go zooming down the field. I think bUgHi's realized, hey, a few shields here would actually go a long way, as there aren't really anything that deal damage to shields very well. Opts to grab them. Unfortunately, there's so many units right now that his marksmen need to be shooting. It's just going to be very difficult for bUgHi's units to deal the damage that they need to deal. And as bUgHi continues to fall farther and farther behind in the chaff war, I don't know what he'll do to actually come back from this. bUgHi still has $750. He just played out his missiles. Good positioning. Will take out these early tanks. And opts to pop the steel ball division. It could delay things a little bit. Remember, the crawlers that come out of steel balls are always level 1, though. So they won't exactly be turning many heads. Down goes the missile. It does deal significant damage to the steel balls, but that's about it. Snipers are online. They took out a couple of early tanks. Worthwhile. Man, I would love to see either a Vulcan or a couple of arc lights here, though. And these wasps are going to absorb so many sniper shots. That is going to be unfortunate. Down goes the arc light. And once again, it looks like these steel balls actually spawning crawlers might be the answer that old bUgHi needed, as these units continue to be delayed shooting at these little crawlers. Blammo, down goes the tower. bUgHi's units will march across the field. bUgHi was a little bit more than half HP compared to Vincent. He's going to start cleaning that up now. Bam. Evening things up just a little bit. Vincent still has more than enough HP, though. Lightning Storm or Skill Specialist? Skill Specialist by both players. I love this. All of a sudden, the intensive training's an every turn thing. Hooray! Wow, lots of level 2 and level 3 steel balls. That's pretty darn good. Snipers are all upgrading. As these snipers continue to upgrade, they become more and more dangerous. Ooh. Anything shot by the tanks now. The electromagnetic shot. Not normally something that we see, but with it, all of a sudden, that becomes quite dangerous. Both players opting to play some wasps and feast on them. By feasting on the wasps, you can potentially earn a little bit of cash. I always verify that because I'm waiting for the developers to either get rid of that or for somebody to say, yes, it is finally gone. Difficult to do while casting. A lot of wasps on the field now. Snipers initially plinking away at these shields, then grabbing a couple of tanks. Wow. Everything's kind of out of the shields at this point. Luckily, the snipers are still just warily sitting inside their own shields, though. And that could save their lives here, because it looks like the initial engagement is going against bUgHi. Some of his units are pushing through in the center, but the flanks are collapsing. Vincent Vega's units just continue to push forward on the flanks. Oh, but the breakthrough is clear for bUgHi in the center. Wasps are able to get in on the Phoenix. Snipers still hiding underneath their little towers. Yes, some shots are coming in on the Phoenix, by the Phoenix, I should say. But now the Phoenix damage is delayed. The snipers are able to clean them all up. Oof. That shield took a lot of damage here for Vincent that may have swayed the tide of that battle. bUgHi is in a pretty good spot now, taking the lead for the first time in this engagement. Oh my god. Nukes, javelins, or wasps. I guess players could opt for the improved fortress. I don't think I've really seen anybody take this in the last 2 months. Oh my god, bUgHi took it. Wow. I was going to say I haven't seen players take this in like 2 months. But here it comes. Will we see the improved fortress? This guy's going to be moving very quickly now. Plus 50% HP, 3 movement speed, and attack is increased by 30%. Is that worth it? Did bUgHi take it for the memes? I don't know. I mean, the fortress doesn't really do anything here. There's a ton of aerial units. He gets them anyways. All right. I mean, they're a lot of HP. They're 153,000 HP. That will take a very, very long time for these wasps to eventually clean through. I guess the... Oh my god, I even upgraded it. A level 3 fortress. My god, this thing's got 229,000 HP. There's no melting points on the field. There's no steel balls on the field for Vincent. That's going to hurt. I don't think he'll be expecting this. I don't know if it will work, but it is certainly interesting. These shields here for bUgHi have lasted for a very long time. Vincent's units are deployed and ready, but he's still sitting on 300 bucks. It may be worth giving these crawlers a little bit of loving. I'm not too sure, though. Oh, I think he popped the oil there. Yes, he did. Out comes the oil. Let's see how well that actually does. And here comes the massive, super heavy fortress. Now, these fortresses would actually not be able to fire their payloads if they had any tech, but it doesn't really matter. Wow, the fortress actually going down here pretty darn quick. Even though it had a ton of HP, it does die here fairly quickly, but did it buy enough time? It's a $1,000 investment for those two fortresses, but it kind of looks like it is buying enough time. As now these steel balls are online, they're going to deal a little bit of damage, clipping through this shield quite quickly. Wow, they get the shield. They're onto the towers. Wow, I would not have believed this. Those fortresses able to last long enough to support those units on the ground. They absorbed so much damage. The ground units were able to blast through all of those wasps and move in. Vega's taking a huge amount of damage here. Does bUgHi transfer over to a couple of little buggies of his own? Some Mustang with the range increase or with the anti-air specialization would absolutely cripple all of these wasps. Oh my. Vega's had enough. You want to go fortress? I'm going to grab some melting points because you know what? Melting points are good. Let's see if they're good enough. I would say almost certainly yes. Oh, wow. Vincent thinking, hey, you know what? These wasps might not be it. They're kind of not doing what I need them to do. Instead, gives them the electromagnetic shot after eating one. bUgHi's fortresses can't shoot up. He still has two of them. And honestly, if he gave him the shield, that thing would have a ton of shields. 40,000, 80,000, 120,000 shield. It wouldn't last very long against these melting points, but, you know, having it's pretty cool. I will say that. I still think a couple of Mustang with the aerial upgrade would definitely not go awry. Just to have something plinking away a little bit at some of these units. But who am I to judge? I'm sitting here casting. These guys are playing. If you're not in it, don't judge. Okay. Here's bUgHi's answer. Some arc lights that can shoot up. And not a bad option, honestly. They won't do anything against these melting points, but he doesn't know about the melting points. You know, what is interesting is if the fortress is actually able to get online, it can deal with a melting point. We'll have to see if these melting points, who shoots first, but these fortresses actually deal a lot of damage. And that might be enough for them to actually get in there and kill a melting point. Ooh, this laser's getting close. As the chaff dies, these lasers become more and more dangerous. Oh, one is down in the center. One melting point down in the center. Fortresses are still standing proud. They have full HP currently. Doing a lot of damage, getting a lot of kills. These steel balls are not fracturing because they're getting shot down. Oh my god. The melting points didn't matter. bUgHi's going to win this round. bUgHi's going to win this game. That's crazy. GG, Vega's had enough. He's out of here. Both players played extremely well. Congratulations to bUgHi. I hope to see them in the future, and then I'll see you guys in the next round. If you're liking the videos, be sure to like and subscribe. We have Captain John versus Barcode. I'm just going to refer to him as Barcode because that is easiest for me. Captain John, what do you pick up here? I would be tempted... Well, the marksman specialist is pretty good here, and it rolled high. Heavy armor, maybe for Barcode? I don't know. Honestly, both these players are in kind of a rough spot. There's nothing here that really sticks out to me. Giant spec for the Barcode. I do like having opening Phoenix. Supply specialist here for Captain John. Oh, wow. And he is a Spartan. I was going to say Space Marine just to piss off a lot of people, but, you know, I could see the angry comments already. First time I ever got a downvote on a video. You called Spartan McGee 5 million a Space Marine. They're kind of Space Marines, let's be honest. They're basically Space Marines. I might get a lot of hate from that. I have a buddy of mine who plays a ton of Halo, and he always used to get angry when I would call the Spartans Space Marines. But they're Space Marines. Anyways, bUgHi opting out here with 3 units of Fang, a couple of Phoenix. What else does he pick up? Honestly, a couple units of Crawlers might go a long way here, if he opts to pick anything. These snipers are in a pretty good spot, actually, well behind friendly lines, able to pick off enemies with no problem. It looks like old bUgHi does opt for a couple of Crawlers. Just need to get in there and keep these units occupied. He needs to make sure that the Phoenix are able to get online, take out the snipers, and more important, well, honestly, the most important unit on the field here are these snipers. Without them, I think the Phoenix will go pretty much uncontested. Phoenix can wipe up Fang, not well, but they can. And that's really what's important. Phoenix do eventually decimate the Fang, but unfortunately, because of their positioning, they're not in a great spot to actually get online and start taking out the tanks. And with those tanks not dying, all of a sudden, the little reinforcement Fangs don't stand much of a chance. Man, this is going to be a pretty devastating loss here for bUgHi. That's unfortunate. You don't expect to lose that much HP at the beginning of the game. Normally, maybe 100 or 200. bUgHi took almost 400 damage there. bUgHi skips. Wow, he'll have an extra $100. Honestly, I don't blame him. There isn't really a lot there. And those $100 go into Stormcallers. Good enough. Or actually, bUgHi is not the supply specialist. He only got an extra 50, but you know what? Those Stormcallers are definitely still worth it. Wow. Anti-interface module. You don't see this very often. Just because it is a little niche for a card. I'm not sure if it's actually worth the $50 that you have to forego in order to grab it. We'll find out. A lot of Crawlers coming out here. A good choice, as they're still the Stormcallers will do quite well at clearing away these Fang. They won't do very well about clearing out these Crawlers. Unfortunately, though, well, Captain John could opt to play another unit. He does not. Instead, opting for mass armor and weapons. That will help him offset the... well, actually, it just makes his units slightly better. The Stormcaller shots are extremely good, decimating a unit of Fang early. The Crawlers are kind of split up as to which way they want to go. Stormcallers will catch a bunch of these Crawlers out, and it looks like the Fang will be able to support those Stormcallers for just a moment longer. The Phoenix will be the first to die here to the marksman on both flanks. Now it's all down to Stormcallers. And I don't think the Stormcallers have it in them to actually kill off these tanks and the snipers. Snipers actually tend to do quite well against Stormcallers. Ooh, but maybe not this time. Down goes the Stormcaller. Down goes the sniper. Does the Stormcaller have one more shot in it? Oh, it does not. It's going to be a 1v1. The sniper, though, is a little bit favored in this matchup. Just because the Stormcaller can miss. Oh my god, the Stormcaller gets the tower. And the sniper. Well, good job there for bUgHi. Just a little bit of a boof right back to the nose. Let us see, let us see. Oh, improved firepower coming out here for bUgHi. Oh, wow. With a Vulcan. All right. Vulcan with improved firepower is pretty darn scary if he opts to put it on there. Captain John's still thinking about it. The improved firepower going out on these Stormcallers. I kind of like that more. Although the Vulcan is quite good, especially with the improved firepower, Vulcans tend to be countered. Not easily, but it's easier to counter a Vulcan than it is a Stormcaller. Because the Stormcallers have long range and they sit in the back of your lines, they often land a couple of shots, even when something like Mustang with anti-missile come out. 1 or 2 Stormcaller shots tend to slip through. Whereas a Vulcan, if it gets countered, it tends to die pretty quick. We'll see if that works for here. Captain John also grabbed the improved firepower. He might opt to put it on his Stormcallers as well. Yes, he does. And it's going to be a face-off of the improved Stormcaller damage We'll see which one's more important. Probably, honestly, these Stormcallers, just because they're going to have to chunk all the way through this Vulcan. We shall see, though. The Chaff all are pretty much dead here on the left again, leaving these Phoenix high and dry to be munched on by the Sniper. Unit of tanks would do really well on this flank. Oof. And down goes the Vulcan. There's a lot of single point damage here on the right. Ooh, the Phoenix gets the Sniper, though. There's only one more threat to these Phoenix. If that Sniper does die, all of a sudden Captain John is in a really dark place. Stormcaller shots are still pretty good. Oh, this Phoenix has a lot of work to do. Wow, the drunk Stormcaller's over there for Captain John, though. That's unfortunate. This Phoenix drops it. Oh my god, the Sniper does eventually clean up everything. Well done, Sniper. Captain John has a little bit of work cut out for him as both players move into round 4, barely taking any damage, if I'm honest. Incendiary Bomb coming out for Barcode. What does John pick up here? Could be anything. Shielding. Shield's not really too useful. It will help. They'll absorb, well, 40,000 damage, but that's pretty quick. Looks like the Amplifying Core out on the tanks. Okay, and a few more snipers here for Captain John. I'm feeling fairly confident about Captain John's build right now. He has the Steel Symphony. Snipers, Stormcallers, Fang, tanks. Perfect. He has completed it. Let's see if that will be enough. Another Vulcan comes down. It looks like a good spot. Honestly, a very good spot here, just because there was really nothing to support these Phoenix here on the left. Let's see if it's enough. Stormcallers getting an upgrade is very important, as they'll need it to deal with these super heavy tanks. The fire comes out on the left. It's not great, but it will still clean up these little crawlers. The Vulcan is more than enough fire in my mind, though. And it will start to burn down these tanks. Man, the tanks on this flank, though, just have a ton of HP. The Phoenix are dropping pretty quick here. Vulcan is not shooting the right units. Now he's on the crawlers. He gets them, and he cleans up a bunch of those little Fang for the Stormcallers to actually land important shots. Down goes the Vulcan on both flanks. Is it too little too late, though? I think so. As the Stormcallers start to march forward, they still have a little bit of Fang support. The first launch of anti-Stormcaller shots go out, and they're very good. Wow. Barcode must be pleased with his Stormcallers. Give those guys a raise. Phoenix come in, get the tower. Don't even need it. Stormcallers knew what they were about. Wow, our red player has been having some extremely good luck with his Stormcallers. Barrier coming out here for Barcode. Haste module for Captain John. I think the barrier was an obvious pickup. Vulcan cannot unlock a barrier, so just having it already available through the upgrades is quite nice. Barrier will give him an extra 60,000 HP a turn. Helps cut down on deployables, helps cut down on the damage that you take. And this little central Vulcan is going to do well. I'd love to see a few more Phoenix here coming out for Barcode. Wow, the repair on the sledgehammers, pretty good. Not only do the sledgehammers now repair themselves, but they also get 30% more HP. Ooh. Barcode unlocks the fortress. Next turn. Next turn there will be fortresses. Let's see if these Stormcallers are enough to take out this shield. In a single volley, yeah, pretty much. Maybe just a little kiss of help here from the Vulcan, but not nothing to write home about. Stormcaller shots are still good, landing in and amongst the tanks. That is very useful. Ooh, these poor Phoenix, though, targeted out by the sniper here very quickly. I don't think this Vulcan will be enough. No, he falls very quickly. And although there are a lot of Stormcallers, there really isn't anything left to deal with these tanks. The Stormcaller shots are good. They do get rid of the tanks on both sides. All tanks have fallen, but it is not enough. Significant damage will be coming out here on Barcode. Wow, that last little rain, though, saved himself another 100 to 150 HP. Both players are very much neck and neck, though, as we move into round 6. Man, what just a little slap fight that we have going on here. Each player dealing 200 to 300 damage to each other every other turn. Kind of fun. Range specialist for Barcode. Quite good, as he already has these Vulcan with range. Having just a little bit more does make a difference. It's only an increase of 12, but it increases that 12 for all of your units. I think it's worthwhile. Stormcallers will be landing a little bit quicker. Can he play a fortress? Does he play a fortress? A fortress would do quite well. They have a lot of damage. He needs something to deal with these sledgehammers. Or just upgrade some Phoenix. Honestly, getting 3 Phoenix with range would be very important. We'll see what he opts to do. Captain John still sitting. Goes with the Strike Specialist. Ooh. A couple of Delay Fang would be good. Or Overlords. Is it going to be crouching Overlords, hidden crawlers? I think so. Unfortunately, these Overlords will immediately die. Maybe not immediately now that there's 2 on the flanks. These Phoenix will definitely kill at least. Well, maybe not any. Maybe not any now that there's crawlers here. And we do see the shoot and scoot. Let's see if it's good enough. Stormcaller shots work. They clear off a lot of these crawlers. Not all of them, though. And the... oh my god, these Overlords are going to kill the Phoenix. Alright, I'm pretty sure Captain John just won this round. We'll watch the engagement in the center, but there's nothing to stop these Overlords. Blammo. Can the Overlords move? No. Oh, yeah, they have the jump drive. We could see new Overlords on the flank. Well, good play here, Barcode. You tried your best, but you were not expecting the Spanish Inquisition or just 2 Overlords to show up on your flank supported by a unit of crawlers. And it's honestly that support of the crawlers that really made the difference there. This Vulcan actually burned down that tank pretty darn quick. But one of them still able to make it through the fire and the flames. That's so many shots. These Overlords are just going to clear house, and that is a lot of damage on Barcode. Oh no, he's near dead. Captain John with a vicious left-hand hook absolutely decimates the HP. Giant Hunter could be good here, but I don't think Barcode has time. Opts to grab the shield device specialist. Yeah. I don't blame him. Things just got real. Captain John's going to think for a second. Honestly, Captain John, keep thinking. When he thinks, he makes some great decisions. And not to say that when he makes quick decisions, they're bad, but man, he took his time and it paid off. Mass upgrades here for Captain John. Barcode grabs a few more Phoenix, finally. These Vulcan needed the support of the Phoenix for a little while just to be able to get rid of these tanks. Oh. Range. Oh my. It is jump drive Overlords. Yes. They might run into a little bit more difficulty now, though. I'm not sure this will work out quite as well. We'll find out. We will find out. We see the dance of the crawlers on this flank just to make sure that this Vulcan is able to deal the damage it needs to do. Oh, wow. A huge flank maneuver here by Captain John. And an upgraded Overlord. Will he upgrade? Oh, he can't. He just can't quite. I actually like causing these units to run in at this angle. Quite strong. Captain John still has 350 bucks. Maybe a little bit of shielding. Oh, nope. Opts for the range and speed. Very important. And 2 shields. Good enough. Let's watch the engagement. The flank is, oh, getting burned down by the Vulcan. That's unfortunate. Will these tanks live long enough? I don't think so. The Phoenix drop the Overlords very quickly. Tanks are all dead. Down go the Overlords. Is there enough in the center? Oh, I don't know, actually. I think Captain John may have overstayed his welcome here ever so slightly, as it looks like everything's going to push down the center and actually overwhelm him. Good burning by these Vulcan. These Vulcan have a ton of range now at 167 range. You don't normally see that. Down goes the tower, and these snipers are just a little bit too little too late, trying to kill Fang. Go, little Vulcan, go. You've been bullied this whole time. Time to be the bullies. And nothing says I'm going to bully you like a flamethrower. All right. Hey, we thought that Captain John was going to win this hands down after that last round, or at least I did. Now it's a very even Stevens game. Oh, orbital bombardment. It has to be, right? The intensive training may be important on a very critical unit, but at this point in the game, I don't think it's worth it. The orbital bombardment is just a way to potentially land a few hits. Captain John hasn't picked his card yet, but he's moving his units. Fire coming out here for our red player barcode. It will clean off some of these units. Not all of them, but some of them. Yeah, Captain John does pick up the senior manufacturing specialist, so he will be able to play some giants for a little bit cheaper. And those giants are extra overlords with the jump drive. Now, jump drive allows you to move, but it also increases the movement speed. Pretty good. I like the jump drive quite a bit. I love being able to reposition my units. It's one of the most fun things I can do in Mechabellum. A lot more Phoenix coming out here for barcode. There really isn't a great answer to mass Phoenix currently. Now there is. Wasps with shields. You know what? Phoenix take a long time to kill. Wasps with shields. And they're even blocking these overlords. I like that quite a bit. Wow, the overlords get the overlord artillery. The old Miyamoto cannon itself. Any players of StarCraft 2 know what I'm talking about. This is basically a Miyamoto cannon on steroids. It shoots much quicker. Much, much quicker. And it doesn't delay your overlord from doing its regular attacks. It's what old Miyamoto wish he had. Wow, the fire comes out and it is good. Burning both sides. There's a lot less chaff to help these ground units now. The orbital bombardment does a lot of damage. Unfortunately, the fire here is going to burn off a lot of these crawlers. Are there enough chaff units to save the overlords? I don't think so. Overlords are dropping very quickly. They don't get a chance to spawn more units, and that is that. It looks like barcode will be the one advancing through the tournament. GG. Both players played extremely well once again. Please make sure you give them your love. Both players, congratulations. We'll see you in the next round. Here we are, our semifinals. bUgHi versus Gaverion. bUgHi has shown an interesting resilience throughout this tournament, and I really want to see him continue forward. Gaverion has been featured on the channel quite a few times before. Heavy armor specialist, Fang and Stormcaller versus what? Honestly, this giant specialist seems very tempting to me. Marksman, okay, but... Oh, wow. bUgHi, man. bUgHi is showing me up. I cannot make any predictions today. Looks like he's going to go with the speed specialist. Okay. No comment. Gaverion, opting for a couple of crawlers. I think that is a wise decision. bUgHi also grabs a couple of crawlers. I think he just needs those to keep up with the steel balls. And a quick, easy deployment here for bUgHi. He's going to move these steel balls in a little bit more, just to keep them a little bit more centralized, a little bit safer. Looks like Gaverion prefers to place his units personally. If these Stormcallers land on the Arclight, it's good night, Irene. Honestly, though, the steel balls don't really have much to worry about. There's a lot of HP in these steel balls, and there's not a lot of damage on the field here for Gaverion. I do like this brick formation. It kind of reminds me of the Roman style of placing your units. Nope, actually going with the straight line back to the barbarian days. Let's see if that works out for him. These poor little Arclights are going to have to deal with this super scary, or poor little Fang are going to have to deal with these super scary Arclights. Let's see if that works. First initial salvo goes out. Ooh, and it deals some damage to the Arclight, having its HP. But these crawlers are really going to make a huge difference. Getting cleaned up. And now the Stormcallers are going to be on the steel balls, the unit that they really don't need to be killing. That is unfortunate. There's a lot of these little crawlers. Ooh, a crawler even survives. Arclights was a great choice here by bUgHi. Just able to clear away the chaff. He knew that the steel balls have a lot of HP. They don't all die to a Stormcaller barrage. And it's more than enough. Gaverion takes a small amount of damage. Maybe a little bit more than he would have liked, but hey, good enough. Let's see what bUgHi can do. Grabs this missile strike. I think that's worthwhile here. Gaverion probably wants the missiles as well. I wouldn't think that he'd want a haste module, unless he really wants those Stormcaller shots to matter, but no. Both players opt for the missile. Unfortunately, the missile is worth a little bit less to Gaverion than it is to bUgHi. Right now, all of these units die to a missile, as opposed to these steel balls, who would actually survive the blast of a missile. So, Gaverion's going to get a little bit less out of it. Looks like bUgHi will get 2.5 units. Gaverion will only get 2. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Gaverion opting for a ton of missiles, actually. Okay. Countered a little bit here by bUgHi. What counters missiles well? Well, actually crawlers. Crawlers do a very good job. And in fact, if bUgHi, for somehow, with his bug senses, was able, or I guess worm senses as it were, was able to sense these Stormcallers, he'd be able just to put some crawlers right at the front here and make them dance. Those dancing crawlers would absolutely destroy the DPS of these Stormcallers. They wouldn't actually damage them, but if the Stormcallers are hitting nothing, they're wasting their time. And that is both the majority of wave clear and single point damage. Ooh, I like this for bUgHi. Does he follow it up? No. That's okay. Attack increase and health increase here for bUgHi as well. Will the missiles drop? Ooh, actually, not so great here for bUgHi. I don't love it anymore because these crawlers would normally have died. Now they're going to re-enter the battlefield. Not great. Not great at all. Crawlers in the center are more than enough, though, just to overwhelm this very weak line of Fang. And down go the Stormcallers. They just don't have any support currently. There's really nothing that's clearing chaff. Those Fang just don't stand a chance and are instantly evaporated. Somehow this Arclight, you don't normally see Arclights travel very much, but because of the speed specialist, it can actually boogie a little bit. It was able to march all the way down the field. That's got to feel bad. Gaverion is in a tough spot. He needs a front line. And unfortunately, I'm not sure what he's going to do to make that work. Orbital Bombardment would work, but that's a very short-term answer to a long-term problem. Let's see what both players pick up here. Orbital Bombardment for bUgHi. Gaverion's having a real think. Opts to skip. I think that was the right answer, actually. He just needs a unit of tanks. Get 3 units of tanks out. I don't know if he can't afford 3 units of tanks, unfortunately. And also the orbital bombardment here from bUgHi is just going to continue to push the win. Oh, it's tough. Gaverion's in a really tough spot, and he has to deal with these crawlers. bUgHi's crawlers are now back out. They will probably die, given that there's a unit of crawlers that will chase him down, and that crawler is supported by these Stormcallers, but it's going to be rough. A lot more crawlers for bUgHi. I think that's a very good answer from him. What? And Gaverion must be playing a chess game that I cannot see. Opts for hackers. Currently his units are being overwhelmed by crawlers, and he grabs hackers. I guess eventually, if the hackers do get the multiple control unit, we could see these crawlers all turn against their one-time master, but I don't know if that's really worth it, given that there's already some Arclights on the field. Out come the orbital bombardment. A lot of units dying very quickly. I guess the hackers do delay the Fang for a little while, cause a bit of confusion, and they're okay against the steel balls, but yeah, this orbital bombardment definitely ends the round before it even begins. Not only that, the hackers need clear lines of sight. You don't really want your hackers converting crawlers, you want them converting steel balls. And without a front line to clear away some of that chaff, the hackers just don't stand a chance. Hey, but maybe Gaverion now picks up a couple of Vulcan or some tanks, or heck, even just some Mustang, to start clearing away a few of these crawlers. We'll find out shortly. $800. Heavy Overlord is really good. I know most players don't like it, but I love a good Heavy Overlord, especially if the only anti-air currently are Fang. Let's see if bUgHi picks it. No, both players actually, I think they both went with the missile. Yeah, both players very quickly at the same time picked missiles. Good Arclights, good crawlers. Okay. These crawlers actually are going to serve a huge purpose, as they'll just set off these missiles early. And bUgHi grabs a couple of stormcallers of his own, realizing that the majority of the enemy army is just a big old brick that moves about the same speed as a brick. These stormcallers will deal a lot of damage. Ooh. Gaverion didn't opt to grab the Overlord HP, but he still plays 2 Overlords. Is there anything that shoots up for bUgHi? No. No, there is not a single unit here that shoots up. Okay. Gaverion wins. Very well played, Gaverion. Hey, man. If you're losing at the game of... And I'm not saying that Gaverion's a bad player. By any means, he's a very good player. Please don't misconstrue this. But if you're losing tactically, make a good strategic choice. And you know what's a very good strategy? Pick a unit that literally can't die. Sounds like a winning choice to me. So he just grabs a couple of Overlords, and this round's already done. And this Overlord literally cannot be hurt. Well played, well played. And we'll get a ton of kills too. Maybe even earn... These Overlords may even earn themselves a level. In fact, I'm pretty sure they will, just because they're just going to kill everything over time. Well, we'll sit through this for a minute. See you guys in a second. Just as predicted, the Overlords pump out 800 damage, helping Gaverion get back in this game. They both earn themselves... Oh, actually, only one earned themselves a level. bUgHi grabs the Giant Hunter. Honestly, kind of worth it at this point. If he can kill these 2 giants, he'll have returned that money, and then every turn after that, the Giant Hunter does go very well. I love the Giant Hunter. Especially at the MMR that I play at, giants are extremely common. So all of a sudden, I'm earning an extra $300-400 a turn. That's a lot of cash. Also, bUgHi has the option to extend the range on his Stormcallers. These units are still slow. Instead, he opts to, I think, play 3 level 2 snipers. Worthwhile for sure. With range. Wow. For sure, for sure. Gaverion still has $400. He could opt to upgrade this Overlord, which would increase its damage, its health, everything that's great and lovely in this world. Or he could opt to play a couple more of these hackers. Instead, just upgrades the Overlord. There's still nothing to stop the overwhelming winning of the ground forces here for bUgHi. Gaverion really needs to be thinking about a way to deal with this. His answer is a couple of crawlers. Honestly, not a bad answer. It will just delay things a little bit. Given that Gaverion has more Stormcallers, delaying fighting in the middle is actually a good thing, because the Stormcaller shots have a much more likely chance to land at that point. See how it goes. Well, not well, as the initial opening attack just decimates Gaverion's right-hand flank. Stormcaller shots go out. They knock down the shields pretty quickly. And now it's just a bunch of crawlers in on Fang. And those crawlers are moving very fast thanks to the speed specialist. They're able to overwhelm most everything. I don't think a hacker is even... Oh, he might convert a steel ball. He does convert a steel ball. That's nice. And a couple of these crawlers have made it through, distracting the snipers momentarily. Not long enough, as they're able to deal with the Overlords. Oh, this is not looking good for old Overlord. 3 snipers now engage on the Overlord. Will it get a shot off? It does, but that shot was basically unnecessary. It gave the Stormcallers time to kill off the sniper, though. Level 2 Stormcallers will eventually clean up or be killed. Level 1 Stormcallers are killed. Sorry about the weird kind of reaction times by myself right now. It is like 11 o'clock at night my time, and we have been casting all day. Just a little bit of self-pity for me. Vulcan could be very good for both of these players, or the Amp Core. Instead, Gaverion goes with the mass-produced tanks. Finally, he needs a little bit of meat and potatoes on the ground. Opts to recycle a unit. Recycles, I think, a unit of Fang or a unit of crawlers that were there. I'd like to see some tanks. Show me the tanks. 3 or 4 tanks would go a long way. Instead, it's more Overlords here by Gaverion. answered by a level 2 fortress by bUgHi. We have seen bUgHi make this transition to fortress before, and it worked out fairly darn well. There's going to be a lot of wasps on the field now, though. And those wasps are really only going to be contested by these snipers. There still is not any other anti-air besides these 3 snipers. Granted, 3 snipers are actually kind of a anti-air force all on their own, but I think the wasps are going to make an extremely good addition here to the Overlord's kind of battle armada. Oh wow, and look at this fortress kind of just backing up his little brothers. One day, the sniper wishes he'll be as big as a fortress. Man, I didn't realize the marksman guns are so big. I always just kind of figured they held them as well. But no, it's shoulder mounted. Kind of fun. Love myself a good shoulder mounted weapon. Out go the crawlers, and they're just decimating these lines again. Nothing to really slow down the crawlers. A steel ball is converted. A second steel ball is converted. And you know what? It's looking pretty good here for Gaverion. Oh my gosh, he may eventually convert this fortress. Converting the fortress actually worth a little bit more. Yes, he does. Converted fortress might survive. If it does, that's an extra 400 damage on bUgHi. Oh my gosh. These hackers must feel so proud of themselves. That is insanity. That is absolute insanity. bUgHi's going to take so much damage here. Oh my god. bUgHi's almost dead. I don't think he was expecting that by any means. I wasn't expecting that by any means. bUgHi grabs the deployment specialist. He's thinking, oh my god, I got to get some units out here. Gaverion also picks deployment specialist. bUgHi was not happy about that fortress changing sides. I could feel the hatred in that left click. Gah! Get out of here, fortress, you betrayer. You ultimate traitor, you Horus. Well done. 3 Mustang coming out. I wouldn't be surprised. Yep. Aerial specialization. Is it enough, though? Against 5 overlords? Well, he could grab another. No, he can't. He's out of money. bUgHi's out of cash. Gaverion still has 150 bucks. There's now 6 overlords on the field. And a shield. Okay. We're coming into the final engagement. bUgHi opts to burn the midnight oil. He thinks it's over. I don't know what he picks here. He has an extra $200. Well, obviously getting the range is quite good. And maybe speed as well. Let's see if he goes for it. Gaverion's already burned the midnight oil as well. Both players think that this is the end of the game. Gaverion trying to push home the win. bUgHi just trying to survive. Let's see if it works out. And these overlords now having the overlord artillery might actually sway the ground war for the first time in a long time in the way of Gaverion. A lot of wasps coming out. Wasps are all dying very quickly to the Mustang. The overlords are just shooting down a lot of units, though. That's very important. None of these overlords have really taken any damage yet, except for this one on the left. It's dead. One of the overlords in the center looks like it's about to die. 2 overlords in the center look like they're about to die. Overlords are dropping left, right, and center, but is it dying quick enough? There's still another 2 overlords left on the right. The Stormcaller shots are starting to land in and amongst the Mustang and snipers now. Oh, these little Mustang really need to boogie. They're not boogieing quick enough. And it looks like these overlords will survive the combat. There's nothing else that shoots up. bUgHi has unfortunately lost this game. GG Gaverion moves on to the finals. Wow. Just 2 absolutely solid wins there. Pushes Gaverion over the top. This is it, everybody. For all the marvels. Gaverion versus Barcode. NA North American Tournament Champion will be decided here. And possibly second place. Sometimes you'll see the player who loses this actually end up in third. It's kind of a weird thing, but it can happen. Let's find out together. Oh, wow. That supply specialist is very strong here for Gaverion. Actually rolling pretty medium for the health, but not the worst by any means. Barcode is actually going to grab Arclight Stormcaller. Wow, the most meta of metas. Looks good. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Stormcallers, Fang, and crawlers here for Gaverion. A very good combined arms. Will we see a Mass Fang? The last couple of tournaments we've seen Mass Fang, but it seems like the craze has died off as quickly as it started. No, we just have this lovely box, once again by Gaverion. He loves this box. In the box we are safe, in the box we are whole. Hey, go with the box, man. Let's see if Barcode opts for a couple of crawlers or a couple of Fang. I would assume it would be crawlers, though. He already has the arc lights out. Yep, and it's the crawlers. Wow. Standard, standard, oh so standard. Let's make sure that this game goes on for a long time, though. I want to see some real blood from two of the best players in the world. Here it comes. The initial engagement. I have to give it over to Barcode initially just because these, well, actually, these Stormcallers might actually gun down the arc lights. They do. That's not good at all. All of a sudden, Barcode is not in a very good spot as these arc lights just die. And with the dead arc lights, all of a sudden these Fang can march forward. Yes, they're marching into their own dooms, but you know what? They're absorbing shots for the Stormcallers. These Stormcallers all miss on the left. Somehow unmoving Stormcallers miss. That's just insane. Miss a non-moving target, I should say. It is now midnight my time, so forgive me if I misspeak a few times. I have been casting since 8 a.m. my time? 7 or 8 a.m.? It's ridiculous. Here comes round two. Gee Louie. Photon coating? Subsidized steel ball? Maybe even the laser sights. I love the strike specialist. It's hard to pass that up. No, Gaverion opting for the subsidized steel ball. I might go with the laser sights or the strike specialist myself. I understand this, though. Gaverion needs something just to push in here and do a little bit of damage. Last time he won because of the slight positioning of these arc lights. I wouldn't say it's poor positioning because these arc lights did get overflowed by the crawlers. Exactly what you want your crawlers, just to slightly overrun your arc lights at the point of contact. Unfortunately, that point of contact came just a little bit too early for our blue player. So how does he fix this? He says, I'm just going to get some crawlers to dance. You know what's the best kind of dancing thing? A crawler. Nothing on the flanks. Okay. Oh, this is weird. Okay. Actually, these steel balls are going to pop the missile. Blammo. Steel balls live, and that's important. They'll die now, though. The steel balls live, the steel balls die. You either live by the steel ball or you die by the steel ball. Unfortunately, down go the arc lights again on the right. It does leave these crawlers, and you know what? The crawlers are actually getting into the Stormcallers a little early. It looks like the Fang were able to clean them up, but the Stormcallers actually advanced too far up the field. They will go down. These crawlers gunning down an arc light. Wow, that's not something you see every day. But it worked. There's one little Fang in here. Is there one or two? Oh, wow, there's four. They're like a pack of rabid dogs just chewing down the Stormcaller as he tries to run away. Unfortunately, he does not make it. Wow, great Stormcaller shots for our blue player. Absolutely decimate that little brick. Let's move on to round 3. Here comes the Rhino for our blue player. This is his power spike. He just won a round. And strangely enough, the Rhino specialists tend to... If you're playing a Rhino specialist, you'll almost always lose the first round. I don't know what this is. This is just pure conjecture, by the way. There's no sanity to this, but it is midnight and I'm going crazy. So what I have found is if you're playing the Rhino specialist, you'll almost always lose the first round. Then you'll win the second round, and it's a coin flip if you win the third. I don't know why that's the case. I've cast hundreds of games at this point, and that seems to be the trend. If you guys have realized other weird trends like this, please let me know in the comments below. But that is something I have noticed a lot. Rhino all the way in the background. He needs to learn his lesson, so we put him in the back. Poor little Rhino. Missile will do basically the same thing for both players. Ooh, but an extra Stormcaller for our blue player might be the difference. Oh, no. I don't think actually it will die. It's just outside of range there. Wow, 2 extra Stormcallers for our blue player. That could really help. Gaverion still sitting on a ton of money. Bro, just go into it. No! Oh well, he goes with the Vulcan. Probably a better choice than what I had in mind. I wanted him just to go the full Rise of the Communistic Fang. That would be quite fun. But no, instead he opts to play sensibly. Oh, this is why these players win tournaments and I cast, because I get crazy a little bit too much. There goes the initial Stormcaller barrage, actually clipping a few of those little crawlers in the back. Both missiles drop, absolutely decimating the Stormcallers, but our blue player was able to play out an extra 2 Stormcallers, and that might be the thing that saves his life here. The Stormcaller shots are landing in and amongst the steel balls. The crawlers come in at a very good time to delay. The Vulcan is now on this Rhino, but the Rhino has a lot of HP and also kind of just dances around the Vulcan's shots for a little bit. Oh no, the steel ball is now within the minimum range. That means that these little Fang are the next things to die. I don't think it will be enough though. This steel ball will be able to clean up all of these Stormcallers if it comes in at the right time. Down go the brick of Stormcallers on the left. There's going to be 1, 3, 4. 4 Stormcallers survive still for our blue player. Will they be able to turn in time? No. The loss of that tower was absolutely crippling. And it looks like blammo. Our blue player does take just the littlest bit of damage. Gaverion opts to skip. What does Barcode choose? Skips as well. Wow, neither player going for the parasitic ammo. Honestly, that may have been worthwhile on the Vulcan, but he chose not to get it, so I'm not going to blame him. Ooh, Phoenix with laser sights. That will deal with Vulcan very well. These Vulcan do actually, they serve a very good purpose right now. But there isn't really that much chaff on the field. But hey, it's a big health pool. It's forcing the opponent to go with Phoenix. Of course, those Phoenix are basically uncontested. The 3 little Fang here have barely gotten any kills. Not only that, they don't really have any damage buffs. So these Phoenix should do very well on the field. Does Gaverion smell it out and play a unit of Mustang? I don't think so. He doesn't really have any reason to play the Mustang yet, unless he's thinking about counterplays. I would think it would be a good thing to do, though. Range on the Stormcallers for our blue player. Gaverion instead goes with another steel ball. That's unfortunate. This steel ball will not help him in the coming Phoenix Wars. And if these Fang die, which they have been prone to do, not exactly quickly, but they have been prone to die throughout this game, as most Fang tend to, the Phoenix will just reign supreme. Very good choice for the strategic pickup here. I would have liked it if the Phoenix were a little closer up, though. Just because they're not going to be shooting at the Vulcan right now. They're going to actually get targeting, or they're going to take a break targeting steel balls. 1 is on the Vulcan. Oh, well. Good little guy. He had his eyes on the prize. Oh my gosh, that poor Rhino. Did not stand a chance. Absolutely did not. Oh, wow. And actually, you know what? These Fang... Oh, no. I was going to say these Fang were able to survive, but the Stormcallers really made sure that they didn't. Those poor little Fang. They'll never be able to close the distance without any upgrades. And the Phoenix will wrap this up. Now the question just is, how much damage will Gaverion take? Well, not too much. Really, not too much. Okay. Both players just opting to slap each other around a little bit. Make sure that they kind of understand who's in charge with a little bit of a limp-wristed slap. Come on, Gaverion, give me blood. Ah, heavy Mustang. I know most players don't like the crazy Fang, but you know what? I'm in it. I like a good headbutt. I like a crazy Fang play. Mustang is much more sensible, but I still like it. 3 Mustangs, wow. Barcode opting to grab a fortress here. This fortress has a ton of HP and most importantly won't die very quickly to the Vulcan. However, these steel balls will kill off a fortress pretty darn quick. Let's see where these Mustang get positioned. Mustang actually positioning very well across the board, giving a little bit of anti-air support wherever they're needed. Our blue little crawlers are going to dance forward, get shot a bit, dance back. Mustang, Mustang, Mustang o'clock. Mustang Steel Ball. Hey, it's back in the meta. Outcome, all the Stormcaller shots, a lot of whiffed shots currently. Ooh, but they do start to pile in right as these Mustangs show up. Wow, that Vulcan lasted. Both Vulcans were made of paper mache. That is unfortunate. And you know what? These Phoenix aren't getting shot yet. That is not good. Wow, these Steel Balls all are also made of paper mache. You know what? All these level 2 Stormcaller shots really do make a difference. The Phoenix are able to just stand behind Papa Fortress, not take any damage, and just clear everything up. Man, the range increase on those Stormcallers was really telling here. And that's going to be a huge amount of damage coming out onto Gaverion. No more limp-wristed slapping. Now it's a chain fist. Chain fist is an invention where you attach a chainsaw to your fist. But it's like a boxing glove. That's right. I'm making things up. Blammo. Gaverion takes a serious amount of damage. This could be it. Gaverion is in the danger zone now. Deployment specialist for our barcoded player. Does Gaverion pick it as well? I think that was a positive. Wow, a couple of melting points. Not a bad choice. These melting points will not only munch through the shields very quickly, they will be able to get through a fortress and any other giant unit on the field. This missile is going to do a lot of damage, unless it gets shielded. Gaverion still has $100. That is the most common place to place a shield. Yes, it will protect the majority of the units here. Double shielding for both players. Ooh, that missile is gonna whiff for Gaverion. Our barcoded player will be able to march forward here, probably with impunity. These Vulcan don't really have any support on the front lines. I think old Gaverion is really missing a trick here without playing just even a unit of crawlers right in the center. Just to absorb 1 or 2 rounds of these Stormcaller shots is very important. These Stormcallers now have the incendiary bomb as well. That means everything in this front line is now at danger because there's nothing with a lot of range in the back line. Poor, poor Gaverion. Barcode probably has this. The initial engagement lands. That missile does pick up a few kills in the background. And here come all of these super heavy Stormcaller shots. Man, are they good. Landing a lot of burning. Ooh, the melting point gets on the fortress almost immediately. Vendetta-ish even. It knew it had one goal, and its goal was to kill. Well done. Both melting points actually survived, marching down the field here. Unfortunately, once these level 2 Stormcallers get online, that melting point should become melted itself. Yeah, look at that barrage. Absolutely annihilating both melting points. Is it enough to kill Gaverion? No. But does Gaverion really have a good way to counter this? Kinda. He has some Mustang on the field already. And a lot of the damage that's being done to him is happening from the Stormcallers. It might be time to take the missile interception. Lightning Storm here for Barcode. Barcode's trying to close out the game. Honestly, when you're this far ahead, it's probably worth trying to do. Gaverion doesn't really have much hope, so he opts for the speed, baby. Excuse me for saying baby so much again, but probably worthwhile. Mustang, grab range. They could have opted to just shoot down some of these Stormcaller missiles. Oh wow. Gaverion once again opting to make this Overlord transition. However, there is a little bit of anti-air in the form of 2 Phoenix. Lots of shielding coming out for both players. Some missiles. Will it be enough? The Phoenix aren't lasting too long. There's 3 Phoenix now. That second round of Phoenix may be important. Ooh, this Lightning Storm is devastating on the right. The left is holding true. Man, those Stormcaller shots are real dangerous as well. Man, imagine now if one of those units of Mustang had just been there to shoot down the majority of those Stormcaller shots. That really may have made the difference. Oh no, Overlords are starting to get pecked at by Phoenix. They don't care though, they bring it down. Down goes the tower. Really all that matters are these Phoenix, and they're engaging kind of first. It's not what you want. That's definitely not what you want, but these Overlords are all distracted. Oh no, shot in the butt and killed. Blammo. I guess it's kind of like the side. All right, we have our winner, Barcode. Just the most insane guy in the world. And there you have it. Our winners, Barcode, Gaverion, and bUgHi. Andy came in 4th, Ender ending up in 6th. Doxun, man, always in the top 10. Congratulations to all the players that did play. Thank you so much for being a part of the Mechabellum community. I really appreciate you all spending the majority of your days. Oh, hey, Bam. I really appreciate the majority of you guys spending your days playing this game with us. Good luck, be safe, and we'll see you in the next one.